Previously on the colony.
So where is everybody?
A group of strangers enter a controlled experiment and starts rebuilding society after a simulated viral outbreak cuts the world's population by 90%. They focus on survival basics.
Fire!
That's about a week.
And discover a cache of rotting pigs, turning carcasses into biofuel. But outside threats and a lack of resources
I did not believe we'd be eating like we're eating now.
The batteries have drained since I started working.
is taking its toll.
Feeling kind of wore out physically, and I feel just dirty.
The outhouse is reaching the top.
Everything's dirty. Everything's dirty. Everything's a mess. The toilet has to be cleaned. There's a rotten, putrid stench and the possibility of sickness.
We're gonna take that outhouse and cut a hole in the bottom and let the doo-doo do what it does down in that hole. Gosh dang, man, this is vile. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? We have floater. Slowly. Sorry about that in there. A little bit of dirt on there. That should keep the flies out. That should keep the stench down.
Most people don't want to start from scratch again. The fact that the world can change so quickly makes you realize how vulnerable you really are.
Everything is so dirty. Like, you can't even touch the pot without getting dirty.
I miss my life the most. I miss everything about my life before this.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Especially because it's so different from what I'm used to.
After a major catastrophe, survivors must go through a grieving process before they can accept the loss of their former lives. But moving forward is a necessary yet difficult task that may be the difference between surviving or not.
We have one thing of peanut butter
Thank you.
that we're going to each share.
God, I love peanut butter.
Every minute is working for a mouthful of food or to get something done.
We're starting to notice that our supplies are getting real low. And now other people are starting to get concerned. And I think that it's a good eye-opener.
The colonists were left with 6 days of food to start the experiment. They've rationed it to last 2 weeks, but the change in diet is taking a toll.
Starvation takes a long time, typically 30 to 40 days. But when a person goes through any dramatic dietary shift, the resulting drop in calories, fat, and protein will not only cause a physiological change, it will make people exhausted, confused, and incapable of complex thought.
I literally dream about food every night now.
Some good old soft whip ice cream.
Ugh.
Just lick it slowly.
I think, though, as a group, we need to start talking or stop talking about all this crap and start focusing on the things that we've done good here and keep moving forward.
To replenish their food stocks, the colonists must now hunt and forage. Artist and inventor George has an idea on how to make that process easier.
Now that we've got power saws running, it'll be a lot easier to cut plywood. And that would allow me to build a bellows, which would be the first part of building a forge. And that would allow me to start actually working metal. So I figured I could take a couple of rebar and hammer out some good boar spears. Jim said he had seen evidence of wild boar out in the bayou, and if we do go up against one of those, we're going to want to be well prepared. And just in general, it'd be helpful to have a forge. I mean, there's a lot of scrap metal around here that I could make into basically anything we need.
So this is good because food is such a priority on our list. Because we have not been as successful as we would like to be living off the land yet.
If that's going to happen, we need some way to preserve the food, so making some sort of a smokehouse should be priority as well.
We got 100 pounds of meat, and we had that smokehouse. That would last us easy 2 weeks.
So let's take this conversation over to the board, and I'll lay out what I'm going to do with the forge.
Sounds great. Let's go.
A forge is basically just an oven to heat metal. So what we need is some way of pumping a lot of oxygen into the fire. So what we're going to do is make a bellows, 2 wooden planks.
A forge is made by connecting a bellows to an oven with a metal pipe called a tuyere. The bellows forces air into the oven, creating temperatures of up to 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit. When the fire is hot enough, metal is placed directly into the fire. Once it glows red, it's soft enough to be shaped.
Right now, we're still basically in the Stone Age. This will help move us into the very early Iron Age.
Good call, George.
All right, thanks, George.
All right, George.
I started building a bellows. It's basically like a giant accordion that when you open it up, it sucks air in, and when you squeeze it, it blows air out the other side. This is going to be the top half that goes up and down like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to cut a couple little thin flaps of sheet metal that will hang over these holes. This will be the flap for the air intake. So we open it up, the air will suck in this way. When we push it down, the air will blow out this way. I'm attaching the skirt to the bellows. I'm using a piece of the destroyed Vopa shade structure over there.
Reno, how's it going?
It's going, brother. It's going.
Oh, yeah?
I've never built one of these before.
Without refrigeration, the colonists have no way to preserve meat. The smokehouse will allow them to keep a surplus of whatever they catch or find.
I was thinking we'll have a separate firebox that attaches to the side of it, and then we'll have a separate box that the smoke comes through and then comes out of the top. And then we'll have a lid, the meat will be able to hang all the way down, to the ground, and then we can just pick it straight up to check on it. Just gotta wing it sometimes,
Wood smoking helps preserve food in 2 ways. First, the heat from smoke dries food out, which slows decay and the growth of harmful microbes. Second, wood smoke itself contains harmful chemicals, such as formaldehyde, which starves the oxidation process.
DeVille gets to work on a new project of his own.
I thought those rotten pigs we got from the truck smelled bad, but then I smell myself. I am building a shower. Cleanliness is very important. I do believe that cleanliness kind of gives you a little hope for living.
Microorganisms like bacteria and fungi can cause thousands of skin diseases, most of which are harmless, but some can be fatal. Therefore, maintaining proper hygiene, like washing your hands or taking a shower, is critical to staying healthy and staying alive.
I devised a plan where we took a tub at the top with water in it. The sun will keep it warm so that when we take a shower in the evening, it will drain down at the bottom. I've got the foundation mapped out, so I'm cutting little slots in the plywood on this end and on that end so that when I put the supporting members up, the plywood will keep it from going from one side to the other to make it secure. Because the last thing we need to do is kill one another taking a shower.
After an apocalyptic event, when the basics of survival like food, security, and drinkable water are scarce, any group of people rebuilding a sustainable life will attract other individuals looking for information and resources.
Grab everything, we got people. Grab everything, we got people.
Jim! What's up? Get your ass over here!
Wait, don't go over. No, no.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, 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 good.
I'm Amber.
I'm Michael.
In order to disrupt social order and put a strain on resources, as part of the experiment, 2 new volunteers will be inserted into the colony. They've been instructed to survive as long as possible with their limited supplies.
How long has it been since you've seen anybody?
It's been quite a while, actually.
Really?
Yeah. We're all in the same boat, man. Just you two? Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got a place to live out there?
Well, we kind of figure we might pick a spot to stay out here.
Anatomy instructor Michael and logger Amber have spent the last 32 hours together in quarantine, unlike the others who spent 72 hours in isolation.
If you want, we're not using that building over there right now, and it's pretty clean inside.
Pretty set up.
A couple of new people showed up, and they just walked up and said hello, and they were friendly. They didn't try to sneak up on us, so I think everybody took that as a pretty good sign.
I tell you what, for the next 12 hours, you guys go in the next building or whatever, those 2 buildings that you feel comfortable with. And in about 12 hours, we can touch bases again, you know, for your protection and mine also.
Absolutely.
They said they would quarantine themselves for 12 hours, stay away from us, stay in the other building. And I really wasn't too keen on it, but, you know, if it's not bothering anybody else.
They seem really friendly.
Yeah.
They do seem very friendly. That interaction was 100% different from the other interactions we've had with outsiders. There was no pepper spray involved, there were no threats, there were no even attempts at trying to get what we have. You know, they're just looking to live.
I don't know, I kind of want to get like a feel for the lay of the land. My name is Michael Slover from Denver, Colorado, and I don't think it's unreasonable to think that society is going to degrade. And it's not unreasonable to try and prepare yourself to be ready for it. And if the world falls apart, everything's equal.
The colonists have offered Michael and Amber the abandoned house adjacent to their own.
Let's go inside.
I'm Amber Williams. I'm from Livingston, Montana, and people either love me or hate me. I'm very blunt and I'm very direct, and so if people have a mask or a charade that they put up, I'll call them on it.
Let's do an inventory, but let's also figure out what stuff we really need to hide, okay?
Okay. Gas mask.
3 plantains.
Peanuts.
Beans and rice. This is probably
4
3 or 4 days we could have beans and rice.
Amber and Michael have been provided a week of food, purified water, medical supplies, tools, plus a few luxury items.
Liquid gold.
Lots and lots of vodka.
All right, I think we need to hide this.
When 2 isolated groups first meet, if neither party presents as a danger or threat, there's typically an initial period of curiosity and civility. But once that initial stage of diplomacy is over, suspicion, fear, and even hostility can set in.
I didn't feel like they were hostile or anything, but I just think that it just looks too naive to just be like, oh yeah, here's our home.
My fear is that word's going to get out that we're building a nice little home here and that we're going to get more and more visitors looking for a place to stay.
We need to go out on a scavenge.
Okay.
Here's the deal. The moment we just start picking up everything, I don't know whose it is. I want to survive. But we're starting a scavenging war. We pick it up, they're going to start picking stuff up.